It's just over 2 years ago when our visitor arrived at Westhoughton Station, alighted from the train and stood aghast at the scene that confronted her. She's arriving again today, but I'm sure she'll be amazed at the transformation that has taken place and the scene that will greet her. Yes, the place is truly buzzing with excitement.
Have you heard?
What?
We've been nominated for an award.
Me and you?
No, everyone here at the station. Let Stephen over there explain.
Yes, Westhoughton Station has been nominated for a National Community Rail Award, and it's an award that is in appreciation of what the Friends of Westhoughton Station have been doing over the last 2 years. I'd like to just point out some of the areas that have been very important to us in winning this award, and also making the passengers that use this station happy about what they're seeing each day. It brings smiles to their faces. Over there, the area that I'm pointing at now, was an area where the land was starting to slip slightly, and there was a bit of a mess that needed sorted out in terms of weeds and general rubbish. It was cleared out, and a line of sleepers, wooden sleepers, have been fitted as a fence and barrier to hold back the land. And now you can see we have a whole line of wonderful planting with lots of perennials and colourful plants in there. Then we move along and we move to a more sloped area, and this is a very difficult site to work on. It's very difficult because it's a railway cutting and there are no areas of flat land to work on. So we have this sloped area behind us which has been planted ever so well now, and there are that many plants in it that the weeds haven't got a chance to grow, and it's quite good. As we move along, we start to get to the station masters, and that really is a sight to see. We have a wooden statue that was built by Mike, one of our helpers, and if you have a look at it, you'll see him resplendent in blue and pink, and he's about 7 foot tall, and he really is a talking point for the children that arrive on the station. We have more than one of these statues. We have in fact 3. We have Lofty, Westy and Arthur Station. The story about Arthur Station is quite interesting because it was named by one of our visitors who came from the community centre in Westhoughton, and it was a visit that was sorted out really for people with learning difficulties who came along, and they had a lovely hour or two wandering about, and it spurred them into making at the community centre a garden of their own, which we were pleased to go along to see. So moving along then from the station master over that side, the bird table, which is a very popular little area for our birds around here, and on the back of it there's a Bugs Bunny type character smiling at us all day. Along the wall behind the shelter and along the other side, we have work that was done by Westhoughton Pottery Studio. A lady called Anne Battersby worked very hard on them and got the local children to put their handprints on tiles with all the children's names on, and again the children like coming down and pointing out to their mums and dads what they've done, because they were instrumental in making many of the pottery animals that you'll see dotted about the site, and that's worth seeing, which I'm sure you will. Further along then, it splits into 2 areas on either side of the pathway coming down on the Wigan side. On the platform side we have a rose garden. It's the only slightly flat area that we have, and it was actually sponsored by Stateside Foods of Wingates, Westhoughton, and they provided 25 roses to start us off. little bit of work to work on every week. We have to do the deadheading on the roses, and there's a pretty noxious weed called horsetail weed that we have to keep on top of. But that's a very pleasant area. And on the other side, as I was mentioning, of the path, we have an area that was sponsored by the co-op. And the co-op gave us some people, and they gave us some money to buy plants for what is a rock garden. And it's very pleasant to have a look at. It's very bright, very colourful, and yeah, the rocks do make the plants stand out quite a lot. Okay, so that really is the Wigan side of the station. Follow me around here. On this side towards the bridge, this is called the Manchester platform, and there is an area which has been very difficult to work on because that was the old station house. So we've planted there, but we have to be a bit careful because the slope is pretty difficult to work on. Then you come this way towards us, and we've actually managed to terrace the land behind the shelter and grow some really exotic plants. And it's all looking very, very good. That continues that theme right behind me where I'm sitting now, all the way down to the pathway that leads up to Church Street. Now then, behind me there is another one of our men, one of the men that I mentioned early on, and he's guarding an area that's extremely difficult to work on. The slope is very, very difficult, but we managed to plant plants in there that will need very little tending to. Leading down from that very sloping area, we have a whole mass of plants. That comes down then to the bottom of the pathway, and we take a left along Manchester platform, and further down on that side we have our vegetable garden, which this year has been very successful, and we have broad beans, peas, onions, and a selection of other vegetables down there. In fact, the boys are working on it now as we speak. We're very grateful for all the local help we've been given from the local businesses, especially people like Derby's Garden Centre, Sean Hardman at the Timber Yard, the Motor Clutch garage at the top of the road, who we get water from when we need it, and Phipps newsagents as well, who acts as a place where we can leave things to be collected. The Friends' efforts to improve the station have been recognised by Northern Rail, and we managed to catch up with Matthew Warman from Northern Rail at the offices in Manchester.
The Friends of Westhoughton Station have been established for just over 2.5 years. They are one of many groups across our vast network of stations that take on improvement work. At Westhoughton specifically, the group have drastically improved the station. It is now appealing to people that travel to and from the station and attracts a lot of visitors in its own right. This year, the group are finalists at the A Corp Awards, and we wish them the best of luck for their work.